What is going on, everybody? I am Rob Westerman, the third of GBP Daily, and thank you for tuning into the Rob Westerman Show. You can find me all over the social sphere at GBP Daily. Shoot me a follow, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit me up in the DMs. I am always available to talk Packers anytime, any day. The Packers get out of Arizona today with a 27-23 victory in a game where we trailed pretty much the entire way up until the 2-ish minute mark in the fourth quarter. It wasn't pretty. It was pretty gritty, hard fought, and most importantly, it was a win. I'll never complain about a win. And if you look around the league, there aren't many teams that are playing Super Bowl level football. And I would much rather have an ugly win than any type of loss or tie. To speak on that, the Packers are 4-1-1 through 6 games. We are coming up on November here shortly, and we have just one loss, and that was on a last-second field goal against the Browns. This Packers team, we saw it. They are so dang good. They can be so good. They got to start playing like it, and they did so when they decided to go for the fourth down late in that game. But it's got to start. The Packers got to start getting out of their own way. We saw the penalties pre-snap. We saw the penalties on special teams, the offsides on the defensive side of the ball called multiple times, things that are just self-inflicting that were really hurting us. And those are the types of things that will hopefully get cleaned up as the season goes on. Another thing that needs to improve, and Matt will tell you himself, some of the play calls in certain situations. The toss play on 3rd and 1 late in the fourth quarter, just a bad decision to go with that play. And I'll be the first to admit, if it would convert, of course, there would be nothing to say for it. But time and time again, those 3rd and shorts, those 4th and shorts seem to not work out more often than they do work out. So thankfully, Jordan Love hit Tucker Kraft on the 4th and 2 to extend what would be the game-winning drive. Otherwise, I think we'd be looking back at that play with a big microscope, asking, why was that the call? I think that'd be a huge topic of conversation in the presser post-game, regardless of how the game would have turned out. And thankfully, we bailed ourselves out of that one, but it's got to be better. And I'm hoping and I have optimism that it will get better. Final score, as I said earlier, was 27-23. Josh Jacobs had a massive game after being what was a true game-time decision today. He was dealing with a calf injury, and we saw every time that he went to the sidelines, he had that calf wrapped up in a heating pad. He dealt with an illness all week. He had the flu last weekend, and the calf injury popped up on Thursday, and he was still able to go out there and carry the offense on his back. He finished with 13 carries for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns. His 3rd straight game with 2 touchdowns, which is just insane. One of the better free agent signings we've had in a long time. So Brian Gutekunst has been dealing as far as free agent signings, maybe not so much this year, but the guys that he's bringing in, trade-wise, free agent-wise, Xavier McKinney last year, Josh Jacobs last year, traded for Micah Parsons this year. Those 3 are absolute game changers for us. And the 2 that were brought in on free agent deals this year, Aaron Banks and Nate Hobbs, not looking the best as of right now. Nate Hobbs had a rough game today. Not going to get into it too much because we came out with a win, and I want to focus on the positives. But, yeah, he did not have a good game whatsoever. He's making the Eric Stokes number 21 look pretty decent with him wearing 21 out there. So hopefully he can either start to improve or hopefully we can see some more of Carrington Valentine. Moving on, Romeo Doubs had a pretty good day at the office, 6 catches, 72 yards, and Tucker Kraft, the yards after the catch machine, the guy that when you throw him the ball, good things happen almost every single time. Tucker finished with 5 catches for 58 yards and another touchdown. He now leads the team this year with 5 touchdown catches, and he's entering the conversation for being one of the best tight ends in the NFL, in my opinion. And I think a tight end that could challenge him with that was also on the field today in Trey McBride, who had 2 touchdowns himself. Those touchdowns, by the way, both of them were wide open. Nate Hobbs, who we were just talking about, tried to throw his body at him at the goal line and completely failed. The one guy that we were supposed to cover was uncovered in some pretty big moments in that game. Jordan Love finished the game 19 for 29, 179 passing yards, and 1 touchdown. Some pretty small numbers, but you've got to remember that we only had 3 offensive drives in the first half. So each team had just 1 possession in the first quarter because you remember the game started off with a couple long offensive drives by each team. So although his numbers weren't, super gaudy, he did come up big time and time again, including that final game-winning drive where he converted a big-time throw to Tucker Kraft on 4th and 2. Shout out to Matt LaFleur. Shout out to Jordan and whoever else lobbied to go for that 4th down. I was a little skeptical because if you don't get it, you have 1 timeout. You have like 2.5 minutes left, and chances aren't looking too good that you'll probably be getting the ball back. So that was pretty much a do or die down. And yeah, Jordan Love and Tucker Kraft came up huge. Before we get into the player of the game, a quick break for our sponsors really quick. If you're planning on going to a Packers game this year, maybe you're planning a trip to Pittsburgh next Sunday night. Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love facing off. Maybe you're planning a trip to Lambeau sometime down the road. Do not buy your tickets anywhere else other than TickPick. They guarantee the cheapest Packers tickets on the market. And in fact, if you find cheaper tickets elsewhere, which you won't because I have personally tracked and logged every game to prove this fact for 2 years now, they will refund you 110% of your money back. Same tickets as everybody else. StubHub, SeatGeek, Ticketmaster, Vivid Seats, Game Time. Same tickets as all those guys, and TickPick is the cheapest every single time. Use the code PACKERS22 for an extra $22 off the already cheapest tickets on the market. Shout out to TickPick. Appreciate their partnership. And myself, they are the best in the biz. How about, in my opinion, the player of the game, Micah Parsons? This stat line is just insane. Micah finished with 5 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, which amounted to minus 26 yards, 5 quarterback hits, 6 quarterback pressures, and 3 sacks. Up until this point in the season, he had 2.5 sacks on the year, and he more than doubled that in just 1 game today. Most of the damage that he did was in the 4th quarter. And yeah, his impact was felt all game long, like it is every game. Sacks or not, drive in and drive out. Arizona's head coach said before the game that they aren't able to run certain plays when he's on the field because of how fast he is at getting to the quarterback, how disruptive he is on a consistent basis. He's making a pretty good case for defensive player of the year. And yeah, I couldn't be more thankful that Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. He, in my opinion, won us the game today. Rashawn Gary forced a Jacoby Brissett fumble that Evan Williams recovered, and it turned into a touchdown drive by the offense. And that was such a massive turning point in the game because Arizona was up 13-6 at that point, and they were driving, and it looked like they were, going to drive right down the field like they had been pretty much the entire game up to that point, and most likely would have gotten some sort of points out of that drive. But Rashawn Gary comes up big, and Evan Williams recovers in what is officially our 3rd turnover of the entire season. So really, it's only our 2nd real turnover if you take out the Xavier McKinney interception before the halftime during the Browns game. But big time by Rashawn Gary and Evan Williams on a big turnover in a big moment. So shout out to Rashawn. Shout out to Evan. Finally getting a turnover. Hopefully they come in bunches. They always say that, right? Only got 1 today, but I'll take 1 a game. That is for sure. All in all, I had fun watching this game. The field goal before halftime by Lucas Haversick was a good pick-me-up after a half of football that wasn't too great, right? And then the second half with the defense forcing a turnover and the offense scoring 21 points. This game was fun to watch. There were some frustrating moments for sure, but overall, a win is fun. So it was closer than I expected, but I'll take a win every single time. I said it earlier. I'll take an ugly win, a gritty win over any sort of loss, any sort of tie, any day of the week. So Micah Parsons went off in the 4th quarter. Matt LaFleur trusting Jordan Love enough to go for it on that 4th down. And I see a lot of complaining going on all over the social sphere, but you won't find any of that here. Packers are 4-1-1, and next on the hit list is Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers next weekend on Sunday Night Football. I'm going to enjoy this one for now, but be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video. Any interaction helps myself and helps the page. And we'll continue to celebrate this win tomorrow while also taking a peek into what the week ahead brings. That is going to do it for me tonight. I will be back at it again tomorrow. Enjoy your Sunday evening. We've got a Victory Monday tomorrow morning. And thank you to all of you watching. And I'll catch you guys later. Thank you.